Gonna go for two here. He's going for two. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Got him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
That's just a heavy Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. Got him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. Got him!
As he goes up and gets it.
Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Gonna go for two here. He's going for two. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Got him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
That's just a heavy Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. Got him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. Got him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Gonna go for two here. He's going for two. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Got him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
That's just a heavy Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. Got him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. Got him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Gonna go for two here. He's going for two. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Got him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
That's just a heavy Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. Got him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Gonna go for two here. Go for two here. Got him!
One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Gonna go for two here. He's going for
What is going on, guys? It is our Week 14 recap. Me and Kaylin are smiling again. Shane's not here, which only means one thing. The Steelers did not win on the weekend. That's right. They played on Thursday, and they still lost, and he's still upset about it. So he is not here. Kaylin's smiling about it. I'm happy. My Bucks snuck one out, which was huge for us. We got a big show today. We do have a special guest popping on. He should be here in the next few minutes. He's on a big time crunch. We'll leave the suspense for that. We got a big show coming up, but thanks always to our good friends at Joe Cool's. Always making sure we are hydrated. Liam's drinking them right now. You cannot see him on the screen, but he is enjoying a couple toboggans. Kaylin's probably drinking a Pepsi. I already drank mine, so I have to go to the fridge in a second, but I keep talking, so I got to hold off. We got our good friends over at Coolbet. We got a lot of odds coming in this weekend. I made a little bit of money on them last night with the Grey Cup. We're going to dip into that. And a big congratulations to our first ever real professional athlete guest was Tanner Gaskill, and him and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers won a Grey Cup in crazy fashion last night in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of that, I said I took the Blue Bombers before the season started. Threw a couple bucks on them, and it paid out pretty well. I think Shane did also as well. I know, Kaylin, you're not too much into the betting, but you hear us talk about it weekly, so you kind of know how it goes.
Yeah. You guys are up some, down some. Up more up than down. I will give you that.
Hey, I'm still playing with house money. I haven't lost that part yet, so we're gonna call that a win, right? It just makes sports a little bit more interesting.
And anybody that wants to sign up for Cool Bet, they get to play with house money too, right? How do they get that house money?
Yeah, you sign up, you put a deposit code going for two. Well, then we're gonna Cool Bet will match your deposit up to $200. We will throw you an extra 25 when you let us know. So you got $225 of house money. It would
Super
make
Bowl's
no
around the
sense
corner,
not to
man.
play.
Right? Super
Hey,
Bowl's around the
we
corner. That's
cleaned
about,
up last year at the Super Bowl.
yeah. There's a couple of our friends that did that, right? Made sure they got the promo code in there, and they've still been coasting on that, man. So good for them.
Shane's buddy, Big Fudge, I think that guy literally cleaned out at least $3,000 that day. And hopefully I didn't get him in trouble with his wife. But that guy, yeah, Liam's buddy did $2,000.
Wow.
We're the only smart guys that didn't take the Chiefs. That's literally what must have happened. But yeah, your Titans had a big day, so I'll give you that right now. Let's not dip into the Urban Meyer stuff yet.
Okay.
But man, your Titans 20 nothing. Big
Yeah.
start to the weekend for you.
Yeah, man. First time that the Jags have been shut out since 2018. I think it's the first time that we've delivered a shutout in a few years ourselves too. So it's good. It's a division opponent. You guys know that I love those division wins, right? I don't care how bad the team is. And the Titans, this year they've let those bad teams hang around. So there was a few times there where I was thinking they were going to, give the game up. Oh, we got, hey, Gino, how you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Absolutely.
Sorted out, so I apologize.
For sure. No,
I heard the coffee maker took longer than usual. That's what.
The coffee didn't take that long. It was that once I went to use the Google Meet, I didn't realize I had to download something. So that was my phone just wasn't loading it. So.
Gotcha.
If you only knew how dumb we were at technology, and the first time we've done this, we were all in the same boat.
And been there more than one time for sure. Yeah, Gino, I was just giving an update on my Titans. They got a good win over the weekend. A division opponent, don't care how bad they are. So it feels good, man. It feels good. But I think there was more stuff that happened this week, and we can get to football right after, right? There was some good shit that went down, right?
Oh yeah.
So we brought Gino on for two reasons. Number one, this motherfucker's gonna beat someone's ass next weekend. That's the main reason.
This weekend, let's go. This Saturday.
I guess in my eyes, football's not done yet this week, so it's still next weekend.
Fair enough.
I know it is Saturday or Friday night you fight.
Saturday.
Up in Niagara Falls.
Yes, sir. We're all at the
Sold
ball.
out.
I hope so. I have no idea. Tarps Off Fight Club 1.
Nice. Now, how many fights are going down that night?
There will be 7. 7 fights.
Okay.
I am the curtain jerker, so I'll be the first fight for the first guy to walk in for the first fight for the first ever show for Tarps Off. So
wow. So you set the tone, man.
Be setting
Right?
the tone. Yeah, that's right.
Are you walking in shirt on or shirt off then?
Probably shirt on.
Shirt on.
I'll be shirt on.
Now, I don't want to hear don't give me away your game plan or anything, right? But like, what have you walked into this fight preparing? Like, was there anything that you thought you had to change? I know the last time that we talked, man, it was coming off of a chance when you could have fought. I can only imagine how itchy you are right now to get in that ring. So what have you been doing for the last couple months?
Yeah, I mean, we've been working the whole time. We were looking at we were initially looking at November, and then it just didn't pan out. It wasn't anything too major. Like, we kind of knew that this was going to be the set date. The game plan. The game plan, I guess, shifts a little bit just because it's just a different body. But it's a good fight. It's a fight that it's a guy that I've wanted to fight for a very long time.
Okay.
Is
there some blood there, or are you guys like just old sparring buddies? What's going on there?
No, we were on this personal like that. We've been on the same team together for years. He fought an old teammate of mine a gang of times, Maddie, as Chad would know. And no, I guess I've just known this guy to get a lot of opportunities, and I just see him he's always messed them up, and I feel like he's just been given everything on a silver platter, and he got opportunities that I wanted, and I'm here to take take that shit and make it mine. So take whatever.
Wow. I mean, like that. He said it wasn't blood. To me, that's there's some bad blood might be brewing there, huh?
It's not personal, but there is a motivating factor.
All right.
I asked for this fight since when fights started coming back, and they were always like, we don't know, it can't happen. This guy's he's a bit of a flop and things like that. And I was like, so why does this guy get all these opportunities if he's like this? And then I kind of admittedly gave up on the whole idea of it. Because again, the one thing was it was one weight class above what I wanted, but I was like, I'll take that fight all day. I think I'm stylistic nightmare. And then I was trying to get ready for this tarps off, and I kept having opponents either say no or drop off to compete with me, whatever reasons they had. And then I would say 3 weeks ago, they said, well, what about him? And I said, absolutely yes. And I mean, it's funny because I didn't think I was going to be fighting, so I'd gotten to eat my sorrows away, and I was kind of very upset. And I bought a pizza to kind of eat my sorrows because I was really like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna wait another year to compete. Like what's happening? Like what am I doing? Like what are we doing here, right? And then they offered literally as I was walking inside, the pizza in hand. They go, well, what about Noah Croswell? And I was like, yes. I'm like, for real? Yes. I'm like, ask him right now if he's down because I can't eat this. So, I literally
He literally has 5 minutes.
right now, right?
He has 5 minutes to make up his mind. This
I
pizza's
thought
happening.
I'd ask him right now because I will finish this thing, right? And I'm like, don't fuck with me. And he's like, yeah, he's in. I passed it over to my girlfriend. I said, I can't eat this. I got the fight I wanted. Went for a run. So that was the way it went.
Beauty. So did you same weight class, movement any weights at all? What are you doing here?
Yeah, so it's the same weight class as the initial, like the fight in September was going to be, so at 35. I am a 25er, so but one thing I did is I did get back into the weight room for this one just to kind of put on some size, which is something I didn't do for the last one. I felt like, and I've only felt positive effects from doing it. I committed to it 2 times a week. Again, the last one I didn't do any. So, I in every way it's better. Like I'm health. Like I can honestly say I feel my body feels better, and I'm super motivated. I could say I've never been this motivated for a fight, and I'm really for this, and I'm going after it with all I got. So
it's amazing. Now, is it playing anywhere? Like, can we watch it online?
Yeah. So it'll be on Fight TV. I can post the link. I'm going to post the link in my social, like on my Instagram, like in the bio. There's tickets still available, I believe, but you can also buy a pay-per-view. So so if you want to watch it, feel free. However, you support. It's a really good show. I can honestly say there's some really they've been a really good promotion. It's been cool, and they actually have put on a really good show. So there's a lot of really genuinely good talent on the show. So it's exciting. So it's cool to be able to open the show for some of those guys and kind of take that tone for everyone.
Oh, okay, right, man.
All right, so the other reason we brought you on here was you're obviously better at fighting than I am, which means you're definitely better than Kalen is at fighting. No one can even see Liam. He doesn't talk. So we had a massive card on the weekend. You and I were kind of messaging back and forth through it. Kind of gave you a heads up. I was going to ask you a couple questions about this.
Yeah.
What did you love about 269? What were you upset about 269? Did you see the belts going the way they went? How did you feel about everything? Because I know for me, the Pina fight, I think that shocked the world.
Yeah.
It was actually crazy. I was telling Kaylin that night, I was like, so I literally saw the odds, and I was like, I'm literally going to throw $5 on this and just see what happens. Like, I've lost, I bet, like, I've spent and lost and wasted $5 faster in my life. She won, and I was like, man, that's won $40. I did nothing.
Yeah.
And I realized I never hit confirm.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was, and I couldn't stop laughing because I was
Tech Guy Chad for you guys. Tech Guy Chad.
Yeah, Tech Guy Chad. Yeah, that didn't work out. Like 1,000?
Right? Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Him and I are definitely in different tax brackets.
Or the payout wasn't. I get some people were like, "Oh, they could afford to do that," but I'm like, the payout sucked. Why? What's the point?
Mm-hmm.
There was no gain to betting on Nunes.
No, somebody said I'd say it was 50 million you put down, you'd only make 5 million on 50. It was ridiculous. Now I did go to high school with this guy who's a little cousin or something. He was sending me the screenshots. He bet his whole paycheck $550. he made $5,000. So good for him. Like that was on the other one, right? So I mean, stop while you're ahead, little friend, or go to Coolbet and have some more fun.
But yeah, what else did you like about the card outside of like that?
So here I'll go with one thing I didn't like about the card. I didn't like the placement of the fights. I thought that it was a bit of a disservice to Dominic Cruz to put him on the prelims, and I'm biased because I'm just a big Dominic Cruz fan. But I feel like the card was so good top to bottom. They didn't really have any. Like I truthfully would have felt like if the Ponzinibbio and Jeff Neal should have been on the prelim.
Yes.
I felt like the name power wasn't as good, and it kind of created a bit of a lull. And I know you can never really predict those things, but I feel like it was kind of a disservice to a former champion to throw him on the prelim that. And yeah, that was the one thing I really didn't like about the show. Other than that, I thought the show was fantastic. I am glad I didn't bet because I was planning on doing a bet of Nunez and parlay that into a Poirier. And so that would have just been a disaster.
Yeah, get some money there.
And, but I thought the show top to bottom was really good. It showcased, showcased a couple of things. It showcased, I think the biggest thing, it showcased resiliency and underdogs. It showcased that fights cannot always go your way. And whereas people were like, oh, this fight is over. We saw it 2 times. First round Nunez, first round with Poirier. And then the other, the opposition, Oliveira and Pena, they dug deep and they found a way. It's mixed martial arts at its finest. It's what we look at. Those are motivating things. Those are, beautiful things. Those are exciting. They're crazy. It's craziness. It's everything about the sport that I think really sets it apart, especially in the combative sports field, because there's so many layers and dimensions to it, right? I mean, I didn't love Nunez kind of breaking there, seeing that. I think that she kind of was just like, yeah, you got me, because the position wasn't a great position for a choke. In fact, she could have easily fought that, I think she's like, I'm done. You got me, it's
one too many shots to the nose. She took a few, right? I think she was smelling blood for a few minutes there.
It was that jab, you know what I mean? I didn't think Pena's cross was kind of sloppy. It was kind of looping. But it was the jab. The jab was beating hers every time. I think she had a little bit of a reach advantage, or she was just using it better. And I think she just kept pop, kept popping.
And like, I think she just didn't care. The girl went into that every single time she went in for a swing. She knew she was going to get hit. And she did. She got hit once, but then she kept swinging. So she got Nunez like 3 or 4 times, it felt like, right?
No, absolutely. And I think just actually that's a perfect that you pointed that out. Her not caring, it helped because it didn't deviate her away from what she wanted to do, whereas Nunez did care. And so by caring and not expecting that, she changed the way she was fighting, right? She was getting bunched up. She was getting tightened up. So it affected her, and she was falling behind, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if she had that, she assumed that it was going to be like that, she would have adjusted accordingly, where she was not able to do so.
Do you find that when like you're at the top for so long, as like you've been an MMA fan forever, and a lot of the people at the top don't take a lot of damage. They get put into these wars, and it's almost like they forget what they feel like.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's hard to say. Like, and she can only I don't even know if maybe she would know it. I think maybe it just caught her by surprise. One thing I do think is that it was a slow accumulation where she's like, okay, it's 1 or 2, it's not that big deal. But then it just kept going 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then that's where it really got her. I don't know if it has necessarily anything to do with her being at the top but things have just been effortless. Maybe. So I guess, yeah, maybe I'm kind of all over the place, but I don't think she anticipated that this was going to keep. She was like, I'll catch her, I'll do something. But it just didn't work. It just wasn't happening. And then next thing you know, she's like, well, I'm kind of stuck here. We just got to start trading because this is where my path to success is. And then she lost that path. And then that's when, Pena eventually, shot in for tight waist takedown to rear naked. So it was a beautiful performance. It was a great fight. So I guess you can be happy about that.
I know you got a lot of time, so I'm going to try to make this like speed round here. A couple other fights I want to talk about. Number 1 is former champ Cody Garbrandt done. I don't think he has a chin anymore. he lives by the sword, dies by the sword, and unfortunately, I just don't know if it's left in his chin. And it's a sad thing to see because he was an exciting fighter in
Yeah.
his prime, but he just never bounced back from getting clipped by your boy TJ.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's he is enough of a name that if he wins one fight, I really think they would give him a title shot at flyweight. The only problem is I don't know where he theoretically where he would stand. Right. I think he's just in a bit of a no man's land situation, which I think is actually worse than him just kind of losing his chin because he doesn't have a solution to that. Right? What is his solution? Either go to 25, go or stay at 25, go back up to 35. There is no direct path. I think again because of his name, he might have a better shot at flyweight. But if he loses again, then he's really like then that's when you start thinking about it. I think he needs to be really wise with whatever choice he makes, and really have if he's going to do 25, he's got to really commit. That being said, again, I don't know if it's so much of his chin. It's just that he's just like he can't beat the he's not beating the top echelon guys at 35, and evidently he couldn't even crack to get into the 25. So I think he is in a bad spot, and his chin does play a factor in that. But I think that I think for him it might be more of a mental thing, like where do I stand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where am I going, right? So and that's where's the motivation in, right? Because if you remember his fight where he won the title, you were like, this guy could be the face of the sport. Like
Yes.
the fight
Yeah.
was masterclass, right? And even him, the taunting, it was perfect. And then he just never been able to get back to that. So I feel like if he had stayed at that, he would be the face of the sport right now. And he hasn't been able to do so. And I don't know if he ever will. I think he's just more or less what I'm getting to. I think he's in a no man's land situation, whereas maybe his chin isn't great enough to be at 125, but he just can't crack with the other 35ers. So he just, I don't really know.
And lastly, as I said, I don't know, I don't know where I see Cody. Like I was a huge fan of his coming up on his come up,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like it's exactly what you said. He's kind of stuck here. Like, all right, you're a top 5 guy or a top 7 guy, but you can't crack the top 3. So like, where are you gonna be, right? And the way you fight, it's a dangerous way to go, man. Like people love it because people want to see people get knocked out all the time,
Yeah.
but like for your career life expectancy, it's not going to help you out so well.
No, of course.
And then lastly, can we just talk about the pace of the Oliveira and Dustin Poirier fight? I was like, I don't know who to pick to win this fight, but you know what? This thing will go 2.5 rounds.
Yeah.
And then I was wrong by 1 minute, and I was really pissed about that.
Yeah.
I saw plus money at 2.5 rounds. I was like, oh, like these guys, like they're both kind of piece each other up. The first round's not gonna be exciting. They don't got a weather to go round and a half. Man, I don't think I've ever been so wrong.
I would have made the same bet, so I don't fault you for that. I think you know what I liked about it? I liked that fight for Oliveira a lot because Oliveira's always had that thing where he breaks. That's this common mentality when it comes to him, and he hasn't exactly with these last few fights he's showed that when times get tough, he can push through, right? That was the will has now matched up with the skill, so it's a beautiful thing to see. I don't even know what maybe Gaethje's got a shot, but again, it's the same thing. But yeah, it was such a high pace. I know watching that first round when they were going, I was like, "There's no way." And I think maybe when he hooked the gloves, that was his TSN turning point. So
Yeah.
And then.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's what Al Davis taught us back in the
He didn't
70s.
say anything. He didn't say ref didn't see anything. So, hey man, sometimes it pays. So, and for him it did. So, no, it was a great fight. You're right. The pace was very very high. But that pace being high is usually when he would crack when the pressure was on, and he broke through that. And you got to see once he got to make it his pace, which was a little bit slower, grappling kind of sandpapery pace. He was able to show his skills, and it was great.
All right, man. So the last thing, your fight this weekend. We'll say for your sake, this weekend. We finish inside the bell or what?
That's the plan, man. The plan is to dominate. The plan is, I've been waiting for an opportunity for 2 years to get back in there. I've never been more motivated. The plan is to really show. The plan is to have a masterclass performance. I will go after him for 3 rounds or until he gives up. As I say, water is wet, the sky is blue, grass is green. And I'm going to whoop Noah Croswell's ass October 18th or December 18th. Those are the only factors in life.
You've just been so sure of this. You knew 2 months ago before the season going down that you were gonna whoop his ass, right?
100%. I've been sticking my finger. I remember saying like, "Who wants to smoke?" I was like, "I'll stick my finger in his chest all day and say I want it. Bring it."
All
So
right.
we're ready. So got a great team with me. So we're gonna make the most of the opportunity. We're gonna make life fair. We're gonna make life fair. So
All right, Gino, we love it. We're going to talk after you win. That's how it's going to go down. And we wish you nothing but the best of luck. Thanks for coming on today. I know you got to train. I know you got to go and train now and get the final weekend. So
yeah, man.
go take care of yourself, man. And thanks for coming on and
Thanks,
go do
guys.
your thing.
Hey, take care, guys. Thank you.
There, Gino.
See ya.
Good luck.
So, Kalen, would you want to get punched in the face for 15 minutes?
No, man. You guys are. It's like psycho. It's the same type of sociopaths that got to be goalies in any sport that would be a fighter. Like, I'll be there to watch it, man. You're not slugging me for fun for 5 rounds. It's just ridiculous.
It's really funny because like he was talking about the Amanda Nunes thing, and like she just kept walking to the jab, and then eating it, and like she kind of cracked, and I was like, and I was watching it happen, and like I kind of giggled by myself on my couch, and like I am nowhere near a professional fighter level. I will not say that. I have been in numerous fights in my life before I ever started taking up boxing. I remember the first time I sparred and get popped in the nose by a jab. And I was like, what in the fuck did I do here? Like, why did I do this? Like,
man.
Nose instantly, like, didn't break, but like in my mind, my nose just exploded.
Yeah.
Instant water in the eyes, deer in the headlights. I come to the corner, my coach is like, it's okay. He's like, we're just sparring. They're not going to hurt you. Like, it's going to be all right. And I was like, and in my brain, I was like, man, like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. I literally have to go back out there for 3 more minutes and get punched in the face again. And then, like, the more you do it, the like you get comfortable in that situation. But I don't think it's ever comfortable getting popped in the face. I don't care who you are, how many times it happens.
Bro,
Like
I
you
was
said,
like-
there's something, a different trigger in your brain that makes it okay.
I was like 8 years old, I think, when my sister smoked me in the face with an encyclopedia, right in the nose, too. And I remember that feeling, that burning feeling, man. And I realized really young, it just ain't for me.
That is
Not
a
happening.
new way of saying hit the books. I had to say
Straight
it.
up, bro. Smoked me so hard in the back of the
All
car.
right. Let's do what we do now.
All
We
right.
talked about fighting. We
Mhm.
let someone else take the lead because we are both idiots and we think it's fun to watch, and that's where it ends.
Yeah.
Football is our bread and butter. Let's get back to this. 2 games on the weekend that had crazy endings. The Bucks came out, lit up the Bills. I literally shut the game off.
Did you
put
go
on
to
the
bed?
Grey-
Yeah, exactly. You went to bed at halftime.
I
didn't
went.
you?
I know. I put on the Grey Cup, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna watch my boy Tanner, my former player. This has meaning. The Bucks are walking through with this." And like, I get this update on my phone. Dawson Knox gets a touchdown. I was like, "Well, all right, cool. I guess like they're letting them do their thing."
Mhm.
So I tap it though to see. Next thing I know, the game's tied. I was like, "What the fuck do I do now? I only have one TV." So literally, leave the Grey Cup on, pull the phone out, watch my dad's in, and I was like, "Man." Then I watched this with the walk-off. Thank goodness. Like, that was wild. And then that crazy Bengals and 49ers game. OT, another walk-off.
And the wrong team won. I don't care. I'm glad that Shane's not here because he would just be harping on me right now about how them Bengals turn into the Bungles again. Man, that was a close, good game. Chase, though, listen, I love the guy. I've praised him all year long. The guy is fumbling away the friggin' Rookie of the Year award. Like, there were some drops in that game that were significant that could have turned it around. That could have been a different game from the get-go. Didn't have to go to overtime.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game, so I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. I was watching the Bucks game, and also went to the Grey Cup, went back to the Bucks for playing at the same time. But yeah, we've literally banged the table every single week with the Bengals. I don't want to talk about them. I know how you feel about them. I don't personally care. I think Joe Burrow's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I think he's going in the right direction. Not Chase, right? That's a country singer. Jamar Chase is going to be a star. We know that. The Bengals defense depends which one shows up.
Mhm.
San Francisco, I don't know what to think there. I think now they're kind of handcuffed now because Jimmy's winning. So now what do you do?
Yeah. And he's throwing the ball like 40 times a game. Like, if you had asked me a year ago to be successful in San Francisco, is Jimmy got to throw it 30 plus times? No. 25 plus times? Maybe, but probably not. Like, he's bombing. Bro, he threw 320 yards yesterday.
So my next question is, this is like, I'm really on the fence because I actually don't have an answer for this. Debo's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Kittle's healthy. It doesn't matter who the running back is in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan's offense. So if Trey Lance would be out there with Kittle and Debo healthy, both of them 100% healthy, could he be doing the same things?
Okay, so here's the problem. I just don't know if a rookie quarterback in the toughness of the division that it is over there in the NFC West, if they were in the same scenarios, if he'd be performing as well as Jimmy. And the reason that I say is there's a lot of pressure on him already to perform as a first-round pick, but then to be asked to be dug a team out of where they are and continue, well, they've kind of been on this upward swing. That's a lot to ask of a kid in that division. I just don't know if they perform the same way. I still think I like Trey. And I think maybe I'm kind of biased because his professional projection coming out of the draft was Steve McNair. So I kind of feel for him a little bit, but I still think that he's going to need time. He's going to be electric when he does get the chance to play. But for right now, I mean, they got money invested in Jimmy. You might as well see what you got back on the return on investment, especially at this point in the year when things have been okay so far. Kid's on a cheap contract. Ride it out.
So the 49ers are in the playoffs with that win.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they can keep that train rolling?
I mean, realistically, I don't think that we've talked about many times about the NFC and how top heavy they are. I just think that there's nobody that can really compete with the top heavy teams that are there. And we're going to find out tonight. I mean, this game tonight is going to be an absolute, this is the barn burner. This is a Monday Night Football game that everybody wants to watch and wants to see. But what type of Rams team is going to show up? The team that can't play teams above 500? The team that can actually play people in their division? We don't know. But the Cards, I mean, they're tough. I don't think that LA's going to have a lot of guys, I think, that are on the 9 list, too, I think, right now, right?
I know Jalen and Higbee got put up one.
Okay.
They got 1-9. That was the last I saw. Was just the two of them, and that was on 4 o'clock.
So that's not going to help matters at all. But I mean, like, we'll get to see what kind of Arizona team it is. Now, the San Francisco doesn't matter. Get to the playoffs. Are they going to be happy with that? I mean, I guess at this point, what does San Francisco need next year, Chad, in order to be? I know they're doing okay right now. We're already talking about next year for the Niners, but like, what do you think they need to be that complete team that we seem to think they are every year?
Well, quietly, Bosa's got 14 sacks, so I don't think anybody even realizes.
I didn't until you just said it right now. I would have thought he was single digits.
I found out on NFL AM. I'm not taking the glory for that. That's my girl Kay Adams throwing that stat in my face. But yeah, they got a pass rusher. We already knew that. Their linebacking core was banged up this year, so they're going to be okay there, I feel. But their defense has been banged up so many times. There's a lot of receivers in that conference, in that division. You need some bodies who are going to shut them down. Their offensive line's good. Their defensive line's good. Quarterback play, like Jimmy took them to a Super Bowl, so I don't think the quarterback play, I don't think he was healthy the first half of the season. I don't think it matters who plays running back there. Really, I don't. If they have a healthy Debo and Kittle, that offense is going to roll. But I just don't know if they can stop those stars that are in that division.
Yeah.
And if Russell leaves, well, then that opens a door, which that's a topic for a different day. But I think, the 49er team, some back-end help on defense. But the fun thing I thought about today was, who would have thought it was two former Patriots that helped the Patriots this weekend?
What do you mean?
The Bucs beat the Bills.
Okay.
That gave them that gave the Patriots an extra game. So that's Tom Brady. Jimmy beat the Bengals. Well, that knocks the Bengals down a couple spots. And it's like, who would have thought that the two former Patriots are out there helping the Patriots? Like, I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Belichick's always winning. It's just another conspiracy.
I don't think he's ever won Coach of the Year, has he?
Yeah, 3 times.
Has he?
Yeah.
When was the last time that he won it?
2010.
2010.
I was doing my write-up today for Cool Bet.
Okay.
They can't bet on Coach of the Year, but I was doing my Coach of the Year, my comeback player. We'll see the surprises. But as you can tell, Belichick was one of my guesses. So I was doing some research on it, looking up, and he won it 3 times before. So this could be his 4th.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it could be anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I still like Cliff Kingsbury, man. The guy went 2 out of 3, 2 divisional wins with a backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And they're rolling right now, right? So who knows? Kansas City Chiefs did it again. Those son of a bitches did it again.
And
Now
and
is
they
the-
did it after something we talked about last year that you really don't like, right?
Yeah.
What happened in KC, Chad?
Oh, I know. I wrote that down there. My topic says Raiders dance, then play sub is what it says on my sheet right here. Yeah, you dance on the logo. You deserve whatever happens to you. I am so happy that happened. But this Chiefs team, they're clicking. Something's rolling now. It's crazy how I actually do believe the addition of Melvin Ingram is helping that defense. It's letting Chris Jones go back inside, man. Now you have two forces on that D line. You can't cover forever.
Yeah,
And it's really helping them out, and they're figuring it out on the back end too, which is huge.
well, I mean, what's really helped them is the turnovers. They haven't had, even if Patrick Mahomes hasn't thrown a touchdown in the games he didn't throw touchdowns, he wasn't turning the ball over either. And their defense is turning the ball over. It's getting the ball back for that offense, which is in turn scoring points. I mean, they're doing it really, really well too, right? But we saw that yesterday. They got the ball at timely chances in the game to get the ball. When the Raiders could have done something early on, they got screwed. And it was good players too. It wasn't like no-namers. Hunter Renfrow was the one dropping the ball or fumbling the ball, right? KC, has really proven a point here in the last few weeks with their defense. Steve Spagnuolo has saved his job. What a quick turnaround that was.
We were castrating that guy 2 months ago.
We weren't the only ones, Chad. Nobody understood why the guy had a job at this point, or at that point when we were talking about it. So he certainly has saved himself. It doesn't matter. They could lose every game for the rest of the season. I think he'd be able to stick around next year. The Chiefs are a scary team. I still believe in the run game in the playoffs. And I know the Chiefs have been able to win it without the run game in the past, but I think that when you have teams that can run the ball against them, they're going to be in trouble. And if you take Patrick off the field, and just like they've done with Tom in the past, you keep him off the field, you will win the game. And the teams that have been successful against the Chiefs are teams that run the ball well. So
we've had this talk numerous times, and I keep talking about how the Chiefs can't run the football. We've had, once again, there's certain things I've been hitting the hammer all year about, and that's one of them. And unless even if they play at home, like Kansas City gets cold, man. Kansas City gets some shitty ass weather in January.
Yep.
They got to figure out a way to stop the run, and you got to be able to run the ball. So, in playoff football. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, no, that Raiders team, I think it's just they just got exposed. Got to wash their hands of them. And like, do we give them a hall pass? Like that was the only question. We give the Raiders a hall pass for this year.
See, that's what I don't. Okay, so I was watching pregame. Woodson's, he's a former Raider. He's very outspoken about Michigan and about the Raiders and where things should be going. And what he said was that if the Raiders lost the game, that everybody should be on the hot seat, including Meyer. Everybody, from top down. They didn't just lose. They got blown out. I can't wait to hear what he has to say next week about that. Talking about a pass, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's passes. There's certainly some passes that need to be given, but Gruden also got a really veteran coaching squad around him. It wasn't like a bunch of kids took over the team either at the same time, right? So
maybe kind of need that old school mentality for his ways.
Yeah, but maybe this goes to show really what his scouting ability was, or what his talent acquisition really was. Maybe this is showing with the team that he decided to build. That when he had the input there, maybe Mayock does get the pass. But the head coach, man, I'm sorry, it was a feel-good story the first couple of weeks. It's over for him.
Do you think their next head coach hire is a young up-and-comer?
Time with the Raiders, man. It's I have no idea. For all
should it be a young up-and-comer?
They could go grab Coach Joe, man. I have no idea. I'm talking from LSU, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. But that's Oakland or Las Vegas. I have no idea what type of coach they could actually go and grab, because they're such a dark horse type team, and where they are right now, like who's available out there, who grabs your mind right now? Because if Mayock sticks around, there's got to be somebody to lead the charge, because it's going to be a couple of years of dark days there in Vegas for at least the next year or two. So who's available?
I think it's still got to be I don't know his name, the guy up in Buffalo, like
the defensive coordinator.
The OC.
Oh, I remember his name is right now either.
Dowell
Loggins?
The one that we thought was going to LA last year with Herbert. That guy.
Devil? No, I can't remember his name is.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Darren Bevel, yeah.
I still think, like, I think Derek Carr has never been given a quarterback coach. So let's see what can happen. Like, look how good he can be as a veteran. I don't think there's a kid coming in that's better than him. So if you put a coach that's going to benefit and watch him grow, like he's not old yet, man. Like he's not even. I think he might just be 30 now.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing about that coach from Buffalo, man, and here's where I think he's lost a lot of points for teams around the league as a potential coaching replacement. He doesn't run the ball. They didn't run the ball the entire first half against you guys.
Oh, I know.
Ridiculous.
Oh, I know.
And then I think he finished it with his running backs with like 7 carries last week, and then they had 8. Like we talk about today, I was saying to Cindy talking about rushing attempts and rushing yards, and I said that most successful teams will be able to get a 100-yard rusher. They're going to average 130 yards rushing and have one of them being a 100-yard rusher. Successful teams, typically successful, especially the playoffs. How is Buffalo supposed to be successful when they run the ball 22 times and 14 of that is coming from their quarterback? You can't do that in the playoffs. No defense going to allow you to do that when you get to the playoffs.
Does Cindy just smile and nod at you when you try to talk to her about football? Because that's what Ashley does to me. And then she just goes, "Okay, dear," and gives me one of these little pats. She like lets me get my rant out, and then she's like, "Okay."
She's getting better. Sometimes she repeats back some of the words that I say, and I think that she's doing that to make me feel better, as if like, yeah, I'm listening to you. So that's whatever.
And I just get the "okay, dear."
God love it,
we don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Can't. I was taught one thing growing up: it's you can't love them and you can't shoot them. So, unfortunately, we got to take the first one.
Yeah.
There's something you brought up to me today when we were kind of exchanging out the rundown today. I didn't even know about this until you kind of introduce it. What did Urban Meyer say about Trevor Lawrence? Because I actually didn't know anything about this until you said it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he threw 4 picks yesterday. One of them was
saw
off of Laviska Shenault's hands. The other 3 were completely on Trevor Lawrence. And then, so there was talk about Meyer benching Lawrence and Andrew Norwell, because Norwell played horrible and had a lot of penalties the entire game too. And then apparently decided not to bench Lawrence because of it would hurt his development. Now, I don't know if you got the opportunity to see his walk off the field, see the coach's handshake or anything. This guy looked like I've seen some old men look like after getting their ass kicked on the golf course for 4.5 hours. Like he looked absolutely disheveled, beside himself, like looking around, hand in his pocket. You know, he kind of reminded me like a scene like Kevin Costner when he's walking around the Field of Dreams, kind of like, what the hell am I doing here? You know, it just looks like he's so beat up. And then for this to leak, I don't know how this got out, who he said it to, but to make a comment like that, what are you doing for your rookie quarterback to make a comment like that? The kid knows he's not played very well this year. And he certainly didn't play a good game yesterday at all. And that's no fault of his own. The offensive line played like absolute garbage. As I mentioned, they were talking about benching one of the guards they paid top dollars for there from all the penalties he was causing. So I don't get what's happening in Jacksonville. I absolutely love it. You know, I'm going to love my division opponents getting getting kicked like this when they're down. How does he last? I mean, Shad Khan came out today and said that he's going to be expect a little more tight ship around there, but thinks that they can right the ship.
So 2 things I have to say about this. Sorry to cut you off there.
Very good.
I've worked with quarterbacks. They're very sensitive people, I found out. But there's 2 things you can do. Either you shut your mouth and you do nothing, or you walk up to your guy and you say, "Hey, today's not the day, man. Take a seat. You're my guy on Monday." You let him know. It's like with a goalie in hockey. Sometimes you pull them out to save them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I literally walked up to my quarterback and was like, "Hey, man, you're done today." And he looked at me and I just gave him a little pat on the head and said, "Hey, today's not the day. You're my guy in practice on Tuesday." You let them know that right away on the side, but don't lead them out there to die, especially if the O-line is not giving you a chance. You don't want to cripple someone's development. You don't want him. I think who said they were? Oh, Sam Darnold. I'm seeing ghosts. You don't want to hear those kind of things from your franchise. Is what this is going to be, right? That's why you brought him in there. You know you're taking over a shitty team.
Well,
he knew he was going into a shitty team. So I don't understand to come out and say like, "Oh, I was going to do it," but he didn't do it. But then he heard. Then like now Trevor Lawrence has heard this story. This should have just been like, "Hey, man, today's not the day. You're out. You're my guy Tuesday. Move on. Send the backup in, Or you say absolutely nothing. You don't talk to the media. You don't talk to a coach. You don't let this slip at all. When things slip, things are supposed to slip. It's that simple. These guys make way too much money for the media to only find out by accident.
That's right. And you talked about when things slip. Chad, I'm going to give you a couple other quotes here from Urban Meyer, okay? So he was asked about rookie safety Andre Sisco playing more. He responded back with saying, Sisco is playing a little bit more, I believe. I don't have his numbers in front of me. Sisco played 0 snaps and played 0 snaps the week before, too. It's terrible. It's your head coach making a comment like that. Jaguars players commented on Urban Meyer saying he came in preaching values, family, and team. It's been anything but since the start of training camp. He's a phony, a hypocrite, and we finally know who he is. This team's falling apart. There's no way this guy lasts through the end of the year, and he's gonna coast for how long is his contract for? Like 5, 8 years? He's gonna coast on that money for a long time.
I don't think it matters after I don't think it matters after Black Monday. So he'll be gone that day. The other thing I heard was, this is what blew my mind. He came out and said, I'm a winner. The reason we're losing is because of you guys. I don't lose.
Yeah.
To his coaching staff.
That's right.
You hired all these guys.
Right.
These are your guys.
Yeah. And what's crazy,
take some ownership.
What's crazy about that quote too is he was also called out in the same report saying that he called out Marvin Jones, and Marvin Jones left the building and had to get convinced to come back into his team by his teammates. He denied the Marvin Jones report when asked about it, but in the same breath said absolutely nothing, basically confirming him calling out his assistant coaches for being losers. This is pathetic. This is a guy who had a winning program for many years in college, who's getting absolutely embarrassed 12 games into the season in the NFL. And not just lightly embarrassed. He absolutely has no idea what he's doing. When the quote about the rookie safety playing and not knowing how many snaps and trying to be zeroed and saying he's playing more. When your head coach makes a comment like that about a rookie player who's on a 53-man squad and he's making that much money, Shad, you got to do something else with your squad, buddy.
Well, he's out. That's enough talking about a team that only has 2 wins.
Yeah.
And I love Trevor Lawrence too much to sit here and hate on him. So I can't do that anymore. I got to move on. We got about 20 minutes left before Liam just cuts us off and tells us to shut up. 2 teams are 6-0 at home. One of them is in sunny Florida. The other one is in the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. As a visiting team, I already know which one I want to go to and which one I don't want to go to. We can already, but if you have to go to Lambeau, what are you doing? And how are you playing? Your team's fine, so don't worry about your team. Think of NFC teams. Your team is built to go to Lambeau. If you're an NFC team, though, what is your game plan?
I mean, you would want to say run the ball. The problem is you really can't run the ball when it's an icy tundra that you got out there in Green Bay. But you also got a defense that's doing very well against the run. I think
that's what I'm saying, right?
I think they're in the
it's a rough go.
Top 10 in rushing defense anyway. So
I think they're in the top 10 in both.
Is it? Wow. So they're very, very challenging team to be playing against. I don't think you have a chance. It comes down to, and it's just asinine to obviously make these kind of calls because it's so obvious or it makes it feel obvious, but if Green Bay gets home field advantage, it's Green Bay's Super Bowl to go to. If it's the other way around, it's anybody's game to go to.
I agree. If it's Arizona, if it's Tampa, it could be anybody. And I still I want to say Tampa Bay. I'm a Tampa Bay fan. That Green Bay team terrifies me. I think we just started getting our corners back, so hopefully they get rolling now so we can start stopping the pass. But yeah, no, I don't want to go to Green Bay. We started running the football. Fournette's rolling now. We got something working there, but I don't want to go to Green Bay. And that really worries me as an NFC team. I don't know if Arizona can go. They've looked great on the road so far. But Lambeau's a different animal, man.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just listen, I know you guys have ragged on Tommy for being an old guy playing in the cold. I don't buy into that with Tom. I honestly think that he's one of the few players that just doesn't matter. I don't think he escaped New England just to go to the sunny Florida to stay warm all year long. But I do believe that some of his players around him, some of the kids around him that may not be used to that weather and suddenly get kind of smacked out. I'm very reminded of Cool Runnings when they get off the plane and going, holy, it's this cold here, eh? Yeah. It's this cold. And there's psychopath players on Green Bay that'll pregame warm up with no t-shirt on. And you're showing up in probably a parka. right? So that's my worry for a team like Tampa. I don't think it's going to be Tom. It's just the young kids I think that are going to get smacked.
Yeah, he sold his soul to win Super Bowl, so I'm not worried about
Right.
him.
Yeah, that's right.
As long as he stays on Tampa, I'm cheering for him. Lionel Collins
Oh yeah.
throws a punch.
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with it? And are you okay with Mike McCarthy praising his actions?
So, defending a player, right?
It was a borderline push out of bounds to Dak when the game was 27-3, I think, at that point.
Yeah. How much
In the
is
fourth
Dak-
quarter, there's 10 minutes left in the fourth.
And how much is Dak making again?
$38 million.
Yeah. I think Mike has to be okay with that. You know what I mean? Like you're winning. Your quarterback who's worth a lot of money just got beat up or pushed around, sorry. Your lineman's job is to protect the quarterback anywhere on the fucking field. I'm okay with it.
This is 100% my hockey background coming in full force. I was taught when you were 7 years old, if someone even looks at your goalie the wrong way, the gloves hit the ice, win or lose, you're going to battle. Football, you touch my quarterback, I have no problem with that, man. You got to stand up for your guy. I know a lot of people are like, well, you know, it's the heat of the moment, and you got to like think about what's the cost. No. We saw what happened to Dallas last year when Dak didn't play. They cannot afford for him not to be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And they need guys to think twice about taking a split-second hit. Especially, he was running out of bounds. It wasn't like he was turning up the field to make a play. Whether he threw the ball or not, he was running out of bounds for a 3-yard loss. So I am 100% okay with it. I read a couple things online saying what guys were just blasting Collins. I think those are just guys that don't like the Cowboys more than the actual guys that understand how sports work.
Yeah.
I just want to hear somebody else's opinion on it to make sure I was validating my own more or less. I just need to feel good today. Big news for you. Derrick Henry. They're saying he could be back for the playoffs.
Terminator.
And it's looking really, really good for him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to start off with this because I figured we would never talk about anything else. I knew we had a guest coming on. So I wanted to put it here so I can cut you off so we can make sure we can get to the final last game, last part of the game tonight. But with Derrick Henry back, do you think it's a real deal? Do you think it's a real thing? Like he can be back at Derrick Henry level, or is it just he'll be on the field to keep defenses honest?
So I think that he's going to be back at 3/4 of. I'm not going to look for 30 carries out of Derrick Henry coming back from that injury.
Okay,
that's just not going to happen. Okay, I still think that a 75% Derrick Henry, who's still I think at this point fourth, maybe third or fourth in the league right now in rushing, still is better than the vast majority of the NFL, especially walking into the playoffs. And it's going to help to keep the defenses honest. Chad, I know this just feels like a really special season, man. Like with all the players coming back at the very end here healthy, we were able to pick up Zach Cunningham off of waivers. I mean, that's a huge bolster to our already very surging defense right now. And Derrick Henry may not have to be asked to play run the ball 30 times with the way McNichols has been playing and having Dontrell Hilliard back and everything too. It's been nice. It's been nice.
So, I took Tennessee to win the AFC. I told you that weeks ago.
Yeah, get that wallet open, man. It's going to come to you.
Plus 525 is what I got them at. And that was when he was still playing.
Mm-hmm.
It is now at plus 800.
Oh, put more money on it. Put money
I'm asking,
on it, Chad. Come on.
Do we dip into the Going for Two account and throw some dollars as a team here to fund our next Christmas party?
I think it'd be a great idea, man. Honest, that's
but if we lose, you have to fund the Christmas party. So, there's a loophole.
I don't know. That's a hell of a trade-off there, man. We've talked many times about how easy the schedule is down the stretch here, right? New England's got a tough schedule down their stretch. I mean, it's anybody's game between. I think it's going to be between them and us, really. I think for first. So, but plus 800, Chad, you have thrown way stupid things for higher payouts than that. Come on, man.
That is true.
Like
I did once say that Cool Bet should have a breathalyzer. I said that as I was betting on Russian table tennis at 12 a.m. So
Yeah, I mean, you messaged me almost immediately after you put that 525 bet down on the Titans.
Yeah,
so
and then today
I
I
can't
saw.
believe you're even like half guessing yourself at plus 800.
Well,
I'd be
like
doubling
I don't
up
want to
now.
double. I don't want to double dip. That's the problem.
Oh
That's
yeah, okay.
that's a big investment.
Okay.
Well, we got like 12-ish minutes left before Leon gives us the thumbs down. Quinn Ayers, Ohio State. He's
Mhm.
going to Texas. You might
Mhm.
have a guy.
Yes, 5-star recruit, right? Listen, we've had a
5-star,
few.
yeah.
We've had a lot of, well, not a lot. We've had quite a few 5-star recruits come through in their Sarkisian years, and they've really panned out. If this kid can work out to what he's projected to be, and now, mind you, he's going to be the bridge till we get to the SEC. He's really going to have the
Yes.
opportunity here to beat the hell out of the Big 12 over the next couple of years, and whoever happens to join the Big 12 in the last couple of his career there before he goes off the NFL, hopefully anyway for him. But he's going to have a hell of a career and a hell of an opportunity, especially with Oklahoma in flux right now, and getting their coaching situation figured out, right? So I think Texas he's got a really good opportunity there to have a lot of fun in a bad conference. Good for him.
Well, it's a quarterback-friendly conference. Let's just want to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really funny because I don't know much about this kid. I don't really follow a lot of Big Ten ball, so I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I do. But when they were talking about this kid on every sports show that I've seen the last 2 days about him transferring out, I was watching the Grey Cup last night, obviously on the ESPN feed because I don't have cable. And during the game, they talked about this kid, about him transferring to Texas. It went across the ticker with the red breaking news.
Yeah. Significant, right? I mean, like I said,
they started the McAfee show to talk about this today. McAfee doesn't really talk college football.
wow.
So, as I said, I don't know a lot about this kid. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I do. But with that kind of hype coming behind them, like that's got to be a green light for you.
Oh,
And
man.
maybe that's something that, like, what can that bring into Texas?
Well,
When
okay,
you know
so-
you have your guy for the next 3 years.
Well, yeah, 3, hopefully 4. I doubt we get 4 out of them, but it'd be really nice to get we're going to get 3 for sure. And as I mentioned, that SEC bridge, we need the hype. We need somebody to build up our program which is ridiculous to say about the Texas Longhorns football program being built up, but they're going to need that before they get to the SEC to be able to compete with those big guys. If you can build a winning program and prove something with a kid like this, get him off to the NFL, players are going to want to come play for you. They're already going to play in the SEC. Maybe now they don't have to go play for that second tier. I mean, at this point, I consider Florida second tier SEC program. So maybe you can go and play for a team like Texas, who's going to put a lot of money into the training and get a great education. That's what you're actually going for, playing ball there. Communications, right?
School first. They're student athletes. Make
That's
sure you
right.
get that right.
But I mean, to go to a team like that versus going to some other SEC team that you're just in the SEC to be in the SEC, that's what I think Texas can get out of this. We like I mentioned before, we've been able to pull a few 5-star recruits. We've lost a couple in the last year or so in the transfer portal last second, unfortunately. So it's nice to pull this in, and hopefully this starts the ball rolling. If Oklahoma didn't lose Lincoln Riley, I don't know if this happens. Really, I don't.
Oh, sorry, 1 second here. I'm just literally logging into CoolBet to make sure my bet's good for tonight.
And
And
to
they
place the
sent me
Titans bet?
Well, that's maybe. Yeah, they're like, can you please verify? I sign in like 14 times a day, man. You know it's me. You like probably can smell me through the computer screen. Gotta get that stuff right in the veins, you know. We do have a game tonight. We haven't really touched on it. Huge NFC matchup. In the words of Donald Trump, huge is what we're going to call this one. What do you expect, especially with Jalen not in? Shane's already chiming in to make sure that his voice is heard from afar. He didn't want to talk about his Steelers.
I
but
can't
he
hear
had
him over the
lots,
tears falling out of his eyes.
Yeah, but he had lots to say about this game. He's got his single game parlay on the Bet Builder. He's saying Connor 2 touchdowns. Each team over 2.5 touchdowns, so 3 touchdowns aside. And then he's going Stafford 300 passing yards and his paying plus 1,100.
Wow.
So so he's just assuming no one's playing defense tonight by the sounds of it. I did not go as high as that. I did build one up as well. I'll let you give your rundown of the game as I pull my bet up to share.
Yeah, sure. I don't think that Stafford's going to throw for that many yards. I think he may have, like, it'd be nice to because they're going to lose. I think Arizona is going to win this game, and they're going to win it very well. Their defense is very strong. They're going to be able to shut down whatever the Rams can put onto the field, I think, at this point. And unfortunately, I mean, Cooper Kupp was on a projection path there to beat Megatron's numbers, man. It's unfortunate he fell off the way he did, but we've talked about it many times. Robert Woods is the thing that kept that thing clicking down there. It doesn't matter that OBJ now he's being thrust back into this number 2-1 hybrid position again there in LA that he was trying to get away from, it seemed, when he picked to go there in the first place. So I know Liam doesn't want to hear this, unfortunately, but I think this is a game where we've used this line a lot. We find out who a team really is. This is a game, though, I think that LA is going to get their asses handed to them by the Cardinals. And maybe, Chad, for somebody who wants, Cliff Kingsbury to win that Coach of the Year, statement wins against the Rams, regardless of what they are against 500-plus teams or not, are going to help you down the stretch to win that award for sure.
Well, I agree. I got my bet here. I kind of didn't go as heavy on the offense as Shane did, but I feel like I could be a little more generous on this one now. I made this bet before I got the news about Jalen being out, but I said D-Hop just 55 yards receiving. I figure that's pretty doable.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford, I did say 2 passing touchdowns. With Darrell Henderson out, I don't know if they can move the ball in the red zone running the ball. So I do think that he's going to be throwing it a lot more. I did go Odell Beckham to score. Not when, not how many, just he's going to get 1. I feel no Henderson, no Higbee. You can shift towards Kupp. And as much as I've ripped on OBJ the last season and a half, but not being the same guy he was, and I think his legs aren't there anymore, I still think on one-on-one matchups, you're going to take your chances with him to come down with the ball. I think he's in the proper role. I do agree with you that he's on a number 1. And he's in a weird spot in LA with Woods being gone. Now he's kind of get pushed up into that limelight again, but I do take him to get 1. And the last one is I got each team kicking a field goal. Nice and easy.
Hey, you're playing in a dome. That's not a bad pick, actually,
2 teams that can move the ball. There's going to be a stand somewhere. And I'm getting plus 500. So I got, Hopkins 55, Stafford 2 touchdowns, OBJ 1, and each team with a field goal. I'm getting plus 500.
That's not bad. I'll take that one.
Not as sexy as Shane's, but
what? Hey, wait. It's just not as
winning is sexy. That's all I'm saying. Winning is sexy.
Yeah. I like that.
Outside of that, I have nothing else to add tonight. I know Liam's like, dude, shut the fuck up. I want to go watch my team play. We got to make sure we say thank you to CoolBet again. Always getting our bet builders going. Keep us going. We have our articles out this week for all our NFL honors winners. Josh is out. Our intern put one together before anybody even got to even get a word in. He said, I've already written the rookie one. So hopefully the odds didn't change because he wrote that bad boy last week.
And I mean, Christmas right around the holidays around the corner, guys. Don't forget, we got merch. We got some hats, some sweatshirts and stuff, right?
Yeah, we got a new hat order in. And of course, our friends down at Joe Cool's. One of the great stocking stuffer is Joe Cool's gift certificates. As Kaylin, you grew up in London. You were in the bar scene in London. I know you bought many Joe Cool's gift certificates to skip the line before Christmas. Because I probably sold them to you. So yeah, on top of that, guys, I'm good. Kaylin, thanks for coming on. Shane, I know you're out there somewhere crying and just upset about your Steelers and don't want to be here.
It's just amazing how it works out, eh? Yeah. I have to work, guys.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation, guys. I'm sick, guys.
He's going to kill us on Thursday. He's going to light us up on Thursday.